Hello and thanks for tuning in. In March of 2018, my father phoned me and told me of my parents' intention to go to Hajj and would I like to accompany them, to which I said yes. Unfortunately, it fell through that year, but we were very happy to be able to go in 2019. This video shows a lot of what went on during that trip. It's not a really religious perspective, but just an insight into a trip that millions of people make, but not many people get to see. I apologize for any poor video quality or any poor sound. These were all phone clips and never meant for this purpose, but I really hope that you enjoy. And also, please forgive me for any inaccuracies. Thank you.
ਉਹ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਲ ਹੈਗੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹ ਉਹ ਫਸੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ੇ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਫਸਿਆ
खोल के देख ली दोबारा एक
हाँ दोबारा नहीं इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल ने पहला ठीक है मगर पॉसिबल नहीं इसको तो गड्डी चलाਉਂਦੇ हैं ना फिर नहीं टाइट होती है यस
चाचे ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਛੱਡ ਹੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ
Video vlog for Hajj part 1. Here we are in Dublin Airport with the Malik family. We have got here promptly at 7:30. The rest of our party don't arrive till 8:30. The check-in desk doesn't open till 8 o'clock. We have no passports. So downtown Azizia, pretty busy.
although quite surprisingly good. Lots of shops around. Very, very, very busy. Very, very hot. Seen a Starbucks, which is awesome. KFC, McDonald's, so food won't be an issue. And actually, everything else is all sort of pretty good. Going to get some food now, and as usual. Crazily walking through ridiculous traffic to get a coffee. Anything for caffeination. Downtown is easier. It's a bit warm. A Starbucks, just like any other Starbucks, except this is the family section. We see a man and a woman, and over there behind me is the men only section, which we can't go into if you're there with a woman. Welcome to Saudi. Just to finish the laugh and Safa and Marwa in this place. Pretty grueling, especially when you're pushing somebody, but also pretty amazing. I'm going to go off and shave my head, and that'll probably be my head shaved forever. Anyway, what an experience. So we're going to take another shot at going to the Kaaba. Instead of taking our own couch, we're going to take these here ones with the Pakistani flag on it. What can possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong?
How times have changed. Like a number of years ago, I would have been coming home and the sun would have been coming out and I would have been a rager of a night out. And now I'm coming home, the sun's coming up, and I just went to one of the holiest sites in the world. Mental. So myself and Haji Furkan Malik are deciding to take a walk down to downtown Azizia. He's got his shades on. He's looking good. How are you feeling, Dad? Not bad. Not bad. He's feeling not bad. That means we are winning. Take two of the Azizia shopping massive. This time with Medea Malik. And Mama, how do you feel?
Good.
She feels good. We're winning. Mama Malik is about to hit the streets and do shopping. Watch out, shops. You're about to become bankrupt. This is absolutely awesome. God knows how good this bread is, but it must be amazing because all these people are looking at a piece of that there. That's amazing. Wow. When you talk about nightlife, you sort of think about nightclubs, pubs, things like that. But actually, nightlife in this part of the world is a completely different kettle of fish. You have the 5 prayers a day, but the biggest gap in those 5 prayers is between the last one at night and the first one in the morning. Okay, so like tonight, it'll be from 8:30 to 4 o'clock in the AM. And then what happens is, actually, the towns come completely alive with people. Just thriving. Shops are open. It's 11 o'clock at night. No sign of any shop closing at all. And so there's just so much hustle, bustle around, bargains to be had. Baking hot today. Really hot. So I've dressed like the locals. Got the guys following me. Dad needs a SIM card. Last day, full day in Azizia, and then hopefully we'll be going up to the hills of Mina and Arafat, which is the Hajj proper. But let me tell you, with your head sort of exposed, a bit of sun cream on, that wouldn't have gone amiss. There's a certain kind of Muslim who thinks it's the greatest glory to die on Hajj, and here we have this man trying to cross this road instead of using the zebra crossing. The next post could be a scary one. Holy heck! What? What?
You've made it.
Insane, man.
So it's all good here at the minute. People are in their rooms all preparing for tomorrow morning when the Hajj proper starts. The sets of rituals that come together and make you fulfill Hajj. It involves staying on two hills in these huge purpose-made tents. I think there's up to 100 people per tent, which might be exciting. So everyone's in, packing the stuff. You have to travel very light, and there is nothing extra that you can take. What I'm going to show you next is in the room, roughly is the sort of things that we are taking. Bear in mind that, I have never heard of camping being a thing Muslims do in their spare time, or what have you, unless you're veterans, of course. So a lot of people are just sort of thinking off the cuff and thinking for the first time. Apologies for the poor light, our room is quite primitive.
So here is all the gear that I think. Some stuff is essential, some stuff is just for comfort. I've got one rucksack, one shoe bag. The white thing up here is the ihram, 2 pieces of unstitched cloth, and that will be my clothing for the next 48 hours. Umbrella for sun, and a normal change of clothes which I'll be getting out of. Compeeds, obviously. An electric razor, and I don't really need to bring that, but the queues for shaving your head again is going to be massive. Travel towel, that's pretty sensible. Up top is the prayer mat that guys have provided us, but I'm going to take this little small grey one here instead, just to save on space. Handkerchief, medicines, travel pillows is pretty essential. This little fan is quite cool. So it's a fan and to keep you cool, but it's also a power bank, and apparently it's well recommended. And my very important and trusty Chili's bottle, which has been absolutely awesome. I will take some snacks with me, but essentially that's it. Oh, toiletries. So you're not allowed to wear scented or fragrance toiletries. So everything in this here has not been scented. It might have a natural smell itself, but nothing added, which is quite a challenge to find, especially for antiperspirant and some soaps. And that's pretty much it. What about hats? You're not allowed to actually wear a hat in the state of ihram, so that doesn't come. Well, this is a bit different. I'm back into the ihram again, and I am in Mina. We got here last night at about 4 AM, and we have basically 3 million people all staying in air-conditioned tents. So they look like this one empty. But wow, they're cozy when they're full. Hello and welcome to Mina. We are currently waiting the call for our transfers to Arafat for the most important part of the Hajj, where God will hopefully grant us forgiveness, and also we can ask him for anything that we want. Arafat is important because it's where Adam apparently descended from heaven, but also it's where our Prophet Muhammad was told that the religion is complete. And so apparently you can also make a wish for anything that you want, so maybe a few grill watches might be asked for. I'm not going to do any live stuff in Arafat. It's far too important for that, and my family aren't going to hear from me. I want to concentrate on exactly what it is that I want to say, and I think I'll probably be too emotional. But if there is good pictures, I'll try and take those and give you guys a feel. And there's lots of actually crazy stuff that happens after that that is also very cool to show you, so hopefully stay tuned. we've just got the call and we're off to Arafat, and so we have to organise and get all our stuff done very quickly. And I have more stuff to do because we've got all the mum and dad stuff, so we're about to go and hopefully we'll have some cool updates later. Going off behind me is the bus containing my parents and my sister. We literally had 10 minutes to get people up and get them out, and there was 3 buses and 1 bus was full which had my parents in it, so basically I had to keep their wheelchairs, get it out of the old bus and keep them with me, and hopefully I'll see them there whenever the group is reunited. Absolutely crazy to think that this is the most important bit and this is the lack of time that you have to get organised for it. My God, we made it. That was really tricky, trying to get 2 wheelchairs on and off myself, but thankfully lots of help from the people on board, and we're into the Arafat tents now. Very different sort of looking tents, larger, really good air conditioning, but like really small thin mats actually, as opposed to the big chunky ones, which actually might be better. It's a different feel about this place as well, not as chaotic, there's a bit of a calm, and ultimately we are looking at being the first people here at the minute, and then more and more will come as time goes on, so I'm quite happy to be here first. Thankfully, parents are all here, time for a bit of breakfast. I can't wait. Right behind me is the Mount Arafat, much smaller than you would think and much more accessible, but the crowds are building and building, and I think towards the end of the day are just going to get absolutely heaving. I have my dad with me, so I don't think we can get much closer than this, though my little sister has gone and tried to get up that, but really quite an amazing sight. It's hot, it's unfeasibly hot. But Arafat has much more happening in it than Minna did. See your brother over here, if I can catch him, serving Arab coffee. There is food stalls, drinks available, a little bit of green mat, which makes all the difference. You can hear the Quran being recited in the back. You just get the feel of something else here. It's good. It's good. It's just very hot. It's crazy. It's coming closer to the prayer time, and I get that feeling like a really big Islam is coming. Quite amazingly, we were all doing our du'as for ourselves and our families, for the Ummah in the blazing heat. It was 38 degrees and you couldn't catch a breath. And look what has happened. The heavens have literally opened, and God, in the eyes of everybody here, has sent down rain in the middle of the desert in Saudi Arabia to cool us whilst we're doing our du'as. You may not believe it at home that is, but we all believe that that's what's happened. It is truly amazing. There's not a dry eye in the house. People are lining the whole of Arafat, tears in their eyes, praying to God. The rain cooling us down, lightning and thunder in the background. It is really the most amazing experience I have ever dealt with. The day of Arafat is closing and the sun is going down. There's been such a number of prayers. You saw hopefully earlier with the heavens opening. We're still drenched, but it's actually very cooling against the 36-degree heat. I'm just going to flip the camera around and you can sort of see what's happening in our camp. It's been absolutely amazing. It's mostly people from the UK, but there's also Australians here, Canadians, Spanish, Italians, all just praying as one, joining in with each other's prayers. It's hugely spiritual, and I'll maybe show some of that there in one of the other clips. But anyway, I'll flip the chair around and you can see and sample the atmosphere. It is very unique. So this is one of the main areas of the camp where people can congregate, and you can just see that people have tears in their eyes still. The main prayers are drawing to a close and we're going to go off to Muzdalifah. You can see this amazing sky in the background with the sun having just set, so it's the Maghrib prayer time. People just congregating, hugging, having achieved the status of Haji and Hajjan. You know, some of them fulfilling lifetime ambitions to do this. You can see over here the buses getting ready to take us to Muzdalifah. We're going to sleep underneath the stars tonight. Hopefully get you a good picture of that and check out that sky. Okay guys, see you soon.
I've shown you some mad things, okay? But nothing is madder than this.
People as far as the eye can see. Millions and millions.
So absolutely more chaos. You can see like just like millions and millions of people just out. Any little gap there is, it gets closed up, so we can't take the wheelchairs through. So we can leave in 10 minutes, but we have to actually pray. It is utterly insane, utterly. Sorry, I'm doing lots of posts because there's lots going on. Currently, I am in the state that I have slathered chafe cream all over my nutsack and inside my thighs. Yes, and the reason is that we can't stay here. We need to do the walk to Jumeirah, where we stone another stone that symbolizes the devil. Basically, I don't know if you can see behind me, there are signs. There's a sign over here, 50 or 51. My parents are over there, and I have to fight through all of this with two wheelchairs to try and get to them. So I have no idea how I'm going to do that. But we need to leave soon, or else we get stuck here. An hour and a half walk there in 30-degree heat. Stone the devil. Another 45 minutes, we'll be back in our hotel. What could possibly go wrong? The insanity knows no bounds. You have to walk from Muzdalifah to Jumeirah for the stoning, and it's quicker to walk. But when you're pushing a wheelchair, it's insane. The heat is about 30 degrees. So many people. Sweat was lashing off me. We're only halfway. We stopped at Mina, picked up my trusty towel, and I continue on. I've cycled at taps. I've gone 100 miles on the bike before, but nothing has been as grueling as pushing this wheelchair about 5 kilometers in this heat with this many people through to Jumeirah, where we stole the devil, who's symbolized by 3 huge pillars. I'll try and get a picture, but I'm done. I'm absolutely done.
You've seen Aziza and Mad before, but we're total gridlock. Buses everywhere, nothing moving. I have to get 2 people in wheelchairs across this road.
We got across. I can't even tell you what we did. I can't even show you on a video. It was insane. It was just not the highway code. But we are here.
all present and accounted for, and turning into our hotel. And I need a rest. It's just been insane. I can't describe what I've just been through in the last 24 hours. So, about last night, I really can't go through everything that happened yesterday. It just feels like almost it was like 2 weeks all crammed into a 24-hour period. But last night was a real challenge. The Zolfa for my parents was really, really tough. They couldn't find any place to sit down, and when they did sit down, they were very uncomfortable. So we decided to get out of Dodge and walk down to the Jummarat stoning of the devil, and that was a crazy experience. You'll see some more of that in the stories coming up next. And then walking down to Azizia, my legs are absolutely throbbing. I did about 8 miles, pushing 120 kilos, but there's brothers and sisters coming in all the time, having gone straight to the Gaba and done the Tawaf going around. So they've put in 18 miles. These aren't athletes or anything. They're done in 35-degree heat. It's absolutely amazing. They're done now. They can relax today, and they can go off the Minna later on. You still have to do that now. There's the Azan. I'm going to have to go off and pray. So we're in like a place selling subs and wraps and stuff like that. And again, there's a single entrance and a family entrance. But single doesn't mean single. Single means men only. And for family entrances in the corner, if you can just see over my back, you can see curtains, because God forbid that you should see men and women together in public. Now you pull the curtain, which makes it a bit odd. You can do anything behind the curtain. Weird. So we're sitting actually outside, not because there wasn't any seats, but we don't do partition. Okay, I took it yesterday, but it's raining again. I mean, it's pissing with rain more in Saudi Arabia than it pisses with rain in Ireland. This was a picture I wanted to see. You can see just swathes of people getting into tents and just a sea of tents. This isn't even 1/10 of the number that there actually is here, and each tent can hold 100 people. The magnitude of it all, it's just mind-blowing. Guess what? I get to hold the monastic flag. Woo! You see? We're trying to find our tent in all these tents. It is really no easy feat at all. Plus trying to cross roads with that being what is faced. We've actually had to get ourselves through like the tiniest crack in between 2 buses. Back in Minna again, and for another 2 times at least, we have to go from Minna to Jummarat to stone the devil that is represented by the stones. So we had a reasonably okay night in Minna before, but the temperature today is stifling. The humidity is unreal. People are walking around with their clothes saturated and barely anybody can get some sleep. So I've come to have a look. You can see behind me, I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. The tents are everywhere, and I found some stalls. I grew up in the markets and I just love seeing what's about. So I'll see if I can take a few photos, see what there is, and in the morning we repeat the walk that I did. My parents didn't come with me this time because they have an exemption as long as I can do the deal with it. So my sister and myself are going to do that, and I think that's very sensible. They're wrecked and they just need a wee bit of a break. Anyway, let's see what I can find. This is Jamarat, where we look to stone the devil. There's our group ahead with the green flags. Green means go. This is the single most dangerous part of Hajj. Whenever you hear about fatalities, it's actually this part. I'll try and catch some footage of it actually happening in the same fashion that I did yesterday. I'll see if I can catch anything better.
The quarters that we were sleeping in, 100 people all sharing a same tent, and half of them are coughing. Give it tomorrow, everybody's going to be coughing here. People are sick everywhere. Such easy conditions for disease to be absolutely rife.
Yeah, we're all sick.
Oh, the brother says we're all sick, and we're right. I just saw a brother there lying flat on his back, panicking because he couldn't catch a breath.
We're breeding a super flu here.
Yeah,
Like super. Everybody's taking antibiotics like candy.
there you go. And huge use of antibiotics. And one of the big worries are conditions like MERS, but also simple infections can spread so easily. It's one of the challenges here, and you can't get around it. You can hear coughing in the background. A real challenge to stay fit and healthy. Got a sore throat myself. Thankfully I feel fine, but my father, who has been away from this here for a couple of days, is also feeling really, really target seeing firm. So hopefully, last day I'm in there, and then we can all do one more walk around the Kaaba, and then we can rest and relax. Scary though. Last night in Minna, I can't say that I'm terribly upset by that. Thankfully, it's just a shade cooler. I might be able to get some sleep. And just see again the usual people lining the streets. That's not really the problem. It's the amount of rubbish that people create. Everywhere, the streets are literally littered. And the biggest offender, plastic bottles. There's plastic bottles everywhere, and they're so freely available. And I can't see these getting recycled. They're just going to go to landfill. Probably go to landfill in a different country. The solution is easy. We all get tags, we all get backpacks. Just give us a nice insulated bottle. Probably buying in bulk. Wouldn't actually cost that much per head. And there's taps everywhere. So we could just use those and just get away with this plastic issue. This journey's been amazing, but there's some logistical things that they could improve. And the lack of waste would just make it all the better. This is not goodbye Minna, this is an evacuation. Everybody's wanting to leave. There's a real stench in the air. Stuff hasn't been cleaned now by the workers, etc. They sweat everywhere. The toilets are now pretty much unusable. It's been a super experience, but not one that I would say I'm rushing back to. Minna, thank you very much. So, finish the last Jamarat. No more Minna. One thing left to do, I should go around the Kaaba. However, the only way in is taxis, and from what we're hearing, they're charging 500 Riyal, so £100 to make the 3-kilometre journey into Mecca. This is not going to end well. Yes, I'm wearing a do-rag. So, whilst we were away in Minna, I realised that my mother missed her dinner and her breakfast, and this morning had a little bit of a funny turn. Nothing serious, but she's probably needing something to eat. So I'm just heading down to get her something. There's a really nice sandwich shop down the road. What I'm wearing on my head is one of these cooling towels. These are new to me, but essentially you soak them in water, you wring them out, and they still cool for a couple of hours, and it seems to be doing the job. My head is really nice and cool. See you later.
This place has no name and looks absolutely banging.
Did you see that? It was absolutely carnage in there. I have absolutely no idea what I've got here. Definitely got a naan. I've got 2 other things, and I hope it's dal and an egg curry. Egg curry sounds weird. Egg curry is so good. And if we've got this here, my parents are going to be so happy. Morning. Today we have to do the final tawaf, basically a goodbye to Mecca. go round the Kaaba again 7 times to the side, running up and down. It's a little bit more stressful today because there is no buses on and we have to make our own way there, which means that I'm going to have to mobilise the troops and try and get them into a taxi, barter for a taxi. Taxi might even take up to an hour to get there. I have no idea what it's going to cost, but to be honest, I don't really care. I just want to get there smoothly and come back smoothly. So let's see what happens.
So we made it. We got a great price for the taxi, just by the grace of God, and we are now waiting. We could get a guy to push, or we could push ourselves. But check this out. Religious dodgems. Wudu is a cleaning ceremony that we do before reading the Quran or before every prayer. It involves washing a specific part of your body in a specific order 3 times in a row. Without it, you can't actually perform the prayer or even touch the Quran. The issue we're having is taking a long time in the queue to get those electric wheelchairs. My mum then needs to perform her wudu again. So then I had to bring her back outside. But it's a lovely day actually. It's very, very warm, and the mosque looks resplendent, so even if we have to wait an hour, those buggies are going to get us around in an hour easy. So I'm calm, I'm cool, looking forward to trying something different. So the lift is broken for my mother, and I think this is one of the things. Thank you, brother, thank you very much. That's one of the things. If you are taking somebody here and they're very dependent on a wheelchair and their mobility is limited, you are going to have to think out every single step, from crossing the road to getting a taxi to getting to the mosque, everything. And you're going to have to make allowances for whenever things like the lifts are broken. So a very kind sister has gone to help my mother down. Initially we had planned to be out of the house by 8 o'clock today, which meant that we would probably not even be here now. But we were here at about 7:15. It's like 9:15. Queuing for the ticket for the motorised buggy. We are now stuck into another queue, and it's really testing the patience. As you can see, he looks very happy. It's a very tight fit, but we're actually on. We're ready to go. Check it out. Let the games begin. Ami smile karo. Well, here you have it. We are done. A little bit of stress this morning, but with patience, we got there. There was a little bit of an idiot in the middle of it all. I got hit 3 times. Like, I personally got hit 3 times by buggies. But we are done, and now we're going to have a little food. We said, what was the toughest part?
When the guy stole our buggy.
And what are you looking forward to eating?
I don't know, just I'm so starving. Anything.
Yeah, so we're hungry. There's some grilled fish going on here, which is going to be very tasty. I'm going to have a look at the burgers. I am genuinely so relieved that we are done. I just need to get a taxi home. I will pay that taxi driver literally anything and to get us home. Packing, and then we're off to Medina. I feel actually slightly elated and hungry. So I have a special guest here, the lady of the moment, Mama Jalapeno. Mama, have you enjoyed?
Assalamu alaikum.
And Mama, did you enjoy Makkah?
Yes, mashallah.
And
we finished our Hajj.
okay,
We'll have a very nice lunch now.
okay. And what was your favorite part? What was your favorite part? Tawaf. You like the tawaf? Excellent. There you go. Deep insight into what it means to go on Hajj. Amazing. I'll never be fully able to explain everything that goes on, but at every single step there is something. We were in a taxi. There was a melee for the taxis, and literally I would have trumped
anything anybody was paying for it. But luckily we got one for 200. It's a ridiculous price, but I would absolutely take it. I think that we're all a wee bit done at the minute, and a little bit of rest in our hotel, a nice cup of coffee will go a long way. You want to see a conversation that transcends languages? Here we go.
Lost mud. You have no roundabout.
Orange go butcher. Back in the hotel room, 9 hours door to door to do one task called the Dawaf, and I don't think I'll ever be able to fully explain everything that went on. The stuff that had lots of said to you, or someone tried to steal our body in the mosque. It's one of the workers squared up to him. He then went to grab my mum. I basically threatened to throw him off the balcony if he touched her. We went for some food. It was good. Then getting a taxi, as I said, the taxi driver went some real higgledy-piggledy way, but that's because all the roads to go into somewhere are closed, and he did really well. But then he wanted more money than the ridiculous fee that I had given him anyway, and I just said no. And then he wasn't going to accept my money, which is strange. I think it's some sort of bargaining that I feel shame that he doesn't accept my money, so I give him more. So I just stuck in the back seat. I thought I lost my phone. Then nearly fell. Well, once fell off the wheelchair, nearly fell off it twice. I feel like Indiana Jones at the end of one of the movies. I can't wait to have a shower, have a shave. I don't know if I feel tired or sleepy or what. It's on. Our time in Makkah is coming to an end. Bags are being packed. Prophet said that if you are coming to perform Hajj, you must come and see me, and that's in Medina. I hear Medina is a completely different vibe. I'm looking really forward to it. Typical Saudi Arabia. I've seen like traffic violations every day. Our coaches be stopped basically in the side of the desert for about half an hour because the driver was apparently speeding, and now we need some sort of an official to come out from the Ministry of Hajj to give him some sort of a permission slip to continue driving. Come on. Bus has decided to do a pit stop. Come out, it's like scorched earth. It is so hot. It is unfeasibly hot. So Dad, what do you think about us being locked out of the bus?
Very good, nice.
So we got stopped by the police for speeding, and we're going pretty much the same as every other speeding vehicle. We're not getting overtaken by basically anything with one camel power. The AC's failed on the bus, so I've got the little fan that you saw in the little clip there. And these be headscarves that actually, well, they're towels, cooling towels, but they work really well. Cold water on, give it a wring out, stick it on your head. Actually works quite well. There's mutiny on the bus. I don't know what they think they're going to do by mutating. It's been a terrible journey. We got stopped by the police. The driver now has to drive very slowly compared to all the other vehicles. The AC is cutting in and out all the time. It's just so hot. I can't get comfortable because Dad's got a bag the size of Belfast shoved in between me and the floor. We were lucky to have those electric fans. Someone's just dropped their ice cream. Damn it, world! We've got lots of good stops here. There's a Burger King, there's a Baskin Robbins. I'm definitely going to have an ice cream. And we're only halfway there. We are in Medina after an 11-hour journey. So happy to be here. Already Medina feels like a completely different place, a completely different vibe. And our hotel looks lovely. Masjid al-Nabi, the Prophet's Mosque, the second holiest site in Islam, absolutely stunning. It's where the Prophet lies and where we go to pay respects to him. It's a beautiful site. It's lovely and cool at the minute, and like we expected, Medina has a completely different feel to Makkah. So much more chilled out. I'm totally loving the look. It's our Sabbath today, the Jummah, and what better place to spend it than the second holiest site and one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. I can't wait. You'll have seen from the nighttime photos that these canopies were actually just looking like long stalks, but they open up into these beautiful shades, and hopefully we'll get a clip in the morning of these opening, which will look absolutely amazing. Nothing dominates the day more than the time of prayer, when people from everywhere just come together and pray. It's 40-degree heat again, absolutely roasting. And this brother has decided that he's still going to wear his Afghan hat. Dad, tell us where we are.
You are on Mount Uhud, and these are all the dates we are selling.
These days look like burnt little penises.
You want to buy any?
No, we got them. Okay, tell us about this place.
This is where Prophet ﷺ fought his first war. It's called Al-Ahud. And this is a part is called Al-Ahud. And that's where Prophet ﷺ was when his first street became Shaheed.
There you go. Pretty awesome, eh? So I've been here now 48 hours and that's 10 prayers, and after every prayer there is the janazah prayer for somebody dying, which means that, you know, at least 10 people have died, you know, in the Hajj. But I'm sure that this has been going on before and it will go on after I've left. And just sort of makes you realize that actually, I used to think Hajj was something that you did when you were older, but really it is very grueling. I myself have some form of virus. I haven't really been able to sleep the last 48 hours. Got this cough or runny nose, blah blah blah. No good shakes, man flu maybe, which invariably is deadly. But I suppose that's one of the lessons that I will take back and tell people is, don't do this here when you are old and you need help to do it. Do it whenever you are young and fit and able to do it yourself, and also quite resilient, because you will catch something, you will get sick. With all our duties now done, and with just over 24 hours remaining before we have to catch our bus to the airport, it's all shopping. Everybody is shopping. The main things are dates, prayer mats, things that will remind us of our time here. My mum went in the shop and bought £100 worth of dates. £100. For any of you who have Asian parents, regardless of what type of Asian that is, you will know the pain. You remember that I had a rucksack to be more mobile, and my mother put that rucksack into an empty suitcase for gifts. The amount of gifts that she's bought, and they're mostly just dates and prayer mats, exceeds what that suitcase can take. So now I'm looking for another suitcase to buy as well. I mean, how many dates and prayer mats could you possibly need? You've seen Starbucks giving out coffees for free for homeless people. Well, this place here, which does awesome shawarmas, is also giving out meals for charity as well. So it's not just a concept that we see in the West, but one that also exists here in the East. That makes me very, very happy. So, would I recommend you come to Saudi Arabia? Probably not, unless you're coming for a Hajj. However, if you're really crazy and you really want to come, do I recommend you come to Medina? Yeah, I mean, there's lots of points of historical significance, and there's a nice place, and there's, you know, a few good shops, and there is all the things I've shown you. Mecca, on the other hand, even if you wanted to go, you can't, because Muslims aren't allowed in. Crazy, eh? Forget what I said about brotherly love and everybody all being one in unison. When it comes to checking queue, it's absolutely blind carnage. Families are turning against each other. It's the worst of humanity. That's it. That's the stress of this.
Thank you for sticking all the way to the end. For me, as somebody who was reluctant to go on this journey, I found it quite an amazing trip. Not only to see these things for myself, but to see so many of the Muslim Ummah be together and be as one. Another thing that was fantastic was to see my parents look at these places because they have such a different relationship to them compared to our generation, and just to see them submit over to this. I asked one of the Imams, how do you know if your Hajj has been accepted and God has granted you forgiveness? And he said there's two ways. Firstly, if you change your life for the better afterwards. And secondly, if God chooses to take your life in the year after Hajj. And the second of those came to be for my father, who lost his life in April very suddenly. And although that is a cause for great sadness, there is happiness that he got to fulfill this final obligation and go on his last journey. Thank you all for joining in. I hope that if you ever get to go on a journey, that you enjoy it, and may you get everything that you wish for it, and may God grant you forgiveness and accept your Hajj. Jazakallah.